Now, let's look at how civilizations are built. Let's look at how the physical structures and the systems we live in, how they are built. And so that I will show you the participation of spirits in this realm. Go back to some of the ancient civilizations and you will see that the things happening there were not occasioned by human intelligence. I will take out time because of our time to show you two ancient civilizations, Babylon and Egypt, which are some of the ancient, the oldest civilizations that existed and evolved into what you have today. And find out the foundations of those civilizations. You will discover that spirits rule these realms. You will discover. Let's begin with Babylon. If you go to Genesis chapter 11, the Bible said a point came. I'm just going to jump through scriptures. I don't have time to do a thorough exegesis. I'm just trying to show you something. It said Genesis 11. Let's look at some of the things that happened. From verse 1. Now the whole earth was one language and one speech. So these are ancient times. Before you have Chinese, Japanese, Indians, Africans, before language came. So I'm taking you back to the cradles of reality to show you how realms are built. So that you who came 6,000 years later won't think you are wise. You are standing on a foundation that is older than all the books you have read. He said at this time the whole earth was what? One language and one speech. And go to verse 2. And he said, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Next verse. Then they said to one another, come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly. And they had bricks for stones, and they had asphalt and mud for mortar. Next verse. And they said, come, let us build ourselves a city. You see how civilizations begin. Let us build what? A city. So anything you see today, whether New York or Tokyo, this is where the knowledge begins from. The systems, the intelligence of building cities. Let us build a city and a tower whose top is to the heavens. So skyscrapers didn't begin when you learned physics and structural engineering and civil engineering. This is where skyscrapers began from. In fact, they've not built anything as tall as this yet. With our civil engineering, structural engineering, electrical engineering, all the physics we know, they've not built anything as tall as this. Even the Burj Khalifa is not as tall as this. That's what I'm telling you. Is that a tower whose top is to where? To the heavens. He said, let us make a name for ourselves. Now, this is where you trace the intelligence that is powering it. The goal is to what? Independence from God is rebellion. So you will understand that the intelligence for building cities is not about comfort. It's about rebellion. Let us make a name for ourselves. We don't want to be named after God. We don't want to bear the marks of God anymore. Let us make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad over the face of the whole earth. Meanwhile, God's agenda is what? Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue the earth, and have dominion. So you are seeing that is two parallel governments at work here. But the way these spirits work is that they hide behind the scene so that you can't find them. But when wise men show up, they see the energy, they see the character, they see the operational modality, then they can identify the spirit behind it. If the goal of this city and this civilization is to have a name apart from God and not to multiply, which is God's agenda, but an agenda other than God, then you know what is happening with these people is beyond. But Paul is telling us to function in that place, we must be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, because we are going to contend beings that have such ranking in the spirit. And so he began to show us that in the demonic realm you have what? Principalities. A principality is a prince that does not have a territory, but his duty is that he is the one who is sent first. That's why the word is Alke. Alke means first in rank. So when a principality, when devils want to take over territories, what they do is that they send the principalities ahead. They are the ones who have the intelligence to map out cities. And so when they come into South Africa, they will survey the land. Survey the land. What is the ambition of these people? In Shinar, the ambition was to build a name for themselves. But now, this territory, we find the people, what is their ambition? And they begin to profile their ambitions. When they find the ambitions of the people, they also begin to profile the giftings that the people have. Because Satan has no gift to give, but he knows how to manipulate gifted people. And so when he checked, oh, there are prophets here. He went to West Africa, he met teachers and apostles. But he came to South Africa, he met prophets. He met intercessors. He said, okay, these ones are open to the spirit realm. Now, because they are open to the spirit realm, their emotional threshold will be high. So what do? Let me enter the gates of their emotion. And then what does he do? He begins to create administrative structures that will facilitate emotion. And so he manipulates women dressed naked, so that when the men see you, they can't contain themselves. And by doing that, what he will do is that he will recruit those who are supposed to be prophets, who should pick signals for God and speak over territories. Their job now is that when they look at women, they know what to tell them for their heart to melt. And so you see one brother, he has 4 girlfriends. He can manage all of them successfully, and no one will know that something is happening. And he thinks he's a wise man. What he doesn't know is that his gift has been perverted. And I'm not talking. Oh, you don't know what I'm not talking about people on the streets. I'm talking about even people with collar. Oh, when he looks at the choir, he selects some kind of girls to be in choir. It's not about singing. He has weighed them. The moment he saw them, he know that this one loves phone. He know that this one loves sweet stories. He's just looking at them and prophetically discerning them, because the gift of prophecy has become divination. So he knows the one that needs gift. He can just give her a phone and her heart has opened. And he looks at the other one, he just comments her dress, she has opened. After 6 months, he's sleeping with 3 people in the choir. And when he comes here, he will tell them, you know, righteousness is God's nature. It doesn't matter what you do. So he's balancing their conscience by telling them, if you have God's nature, you are righteous. It doesn't matter what you do. So that they will now not feel bad that pastor is sleeping with them. And so the guy who should be a prophet, who should speak the next dispensation of South Africa, he can no longer see from the realm of light, because he didn't know that he came here to build cities. He didn't know that the reason Jesus moved him from exousia to throne is so that the South Africa in the spirit will be built. Because every physical Egypt has a spiritual Egypt, and so every physical South Africa has a spiritual South Africa. But there are colonial masters around. They know the recruitment. When the colonial masters succeed in recruiting and set up the activity, then the powers come. Paul said, we wrestle not against principalities and powers. The duty of the power is that they bind you, because they are called authorities. Now that you have violated the law of the spirit realm, you can't move anymore, because we know the law. The law says, whoever you yield yourself servant to obey, he said, the servant of him you are whom you have obeyed. So suddenly the guy who began with 1-2 ladies, he can't stop anymore. The day he tries to stop, he now discovers that a chain has been put on him. He has become a servant, prophet, but operating in divination, because he has been arrested. You see others, their work is lying. They don't even know why they lie, because the spirit perceive. He said they have ego. They have ego, and they won't go through process. They want to shortcut corners, so he gives them quick success. Oh, take some invitation, take some money, and the guy now has some money, so he thinks the status has changed. And because he wants to sustain that status, he will need to lie to people. He can show up and say, oh, an angel is here, because the angel is here. I'm hearing, if you give 1 million rand now, you will go to the next level. And he used the one testimony that happened that week as the basis to collect 1 million rand. And when he collects it, the next thing he has is sustaining his ego, so that when he shows up, you know he's a man that has been helped. And so they pamper that ego using the vehicle of lie. And everybody that are under him, he's baptizing them. Because Paul said, in as much as we love you, we have not just taught you the gospel, we have imparted you the substance of our soul. Now, he now becomes a recruiting agent. The innocent guy that gave his life to Christ, that came to church yesterday, does not know why he's not struggling with lust. He is under a radar. He's under a radar. God said, pray fast, you cannot. Is it when he tell you say no to the Western world that you can? And they are looting Africa, rushing into Africa as if we are morons who don't know nothing, just to harvest what is here, because there are few corrupt leaders who don't know where God is going. The first way to behold him is to turn to him in consecration by responding to his word. The The second way to look upon him is to eat the word. Jeremiah 15:16. He said, I found thy word and I did eat it. And he said, it became the joy and the rejoicing of my heart. Why do you think Satan is feeding us with garbage? He knows the inner strength we require comes from the word. So you look at the internet, it is flooded with things that can keep you there for 24 hours. That has no bearing to the development of your spirit. From movies to gossip to propaganda to trend, and you find people who should be developing, facilitating trends and propagandas. Some of you will approach your boss and tell him, I am no longer part of this corrupt system. If you don't keep me here walking in righteousness, I resign. I'm telling you, you may not have another job in 2 years. Brother, it's better to die serving God and have a place in Zion than to live a corrupt life. You can't build Zion. You know the worst thing that will happen to you is that when you go to heaven and you look at earth and discover you are part of those who built corruption, you build the confusion that men walk in today.
Safilata panteregedis Zeziza parakata Sahila papena parakido Shetekevara kadias Sariata peparakina Parakatona zavekes Exterito pariata Ila kale kasuna Shabak. How can you say you are a leader in church but you are a concubine of a married man? The money that he cannot train his children with, you sit there with a miniskirt with chest exposed, and you are taking the money that belongs to a family because you want an iPhone, and you are wrecking a family, and you think you are part of God's army. You deluded yourself. You think you are part of God's army. Money that is meant for a whole province, you sit there, sign, add 4 zeros and loot the money, and you think you are part of God's agenda. The hottest part of hell has been reserved for you. You are just not aware. A circumcised generation. A circumcised. He said, who can stand upon the mountains of God? He said, who shall dwell in his holy city? He said, they that are of a clean hands, that are of a pure heart, who have not opened up their hearts to vanity. This is the generation that is looking for, not an adulterous generation that have made a pact with the world. Come out from among them, touch not the unclean thing. They that bear the vessels of God, they must be holy. They must be holy. They must be holy, because the men that stay in the throne room, they have one cry: holy, holy, holy is the Lord. He said, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord and his train filled the temple, and when he saw the seraphims, they had one voice: holy is the Lord, holy is the Lord. He has nothing to do with the title. You can be a prophet, but you're an architect of darkness. You can be an apostle, but you're an architect of darkness. The moment a national prophet entered the throne room, he was screamed, and he was not worthy to stand there. He said, one of the seraphims took one of the coals of fire and touched him and said, your iniquity has passed. It is transmission. He doesn't know why. He can't stop lying. It's a radar. It's a radar. A principality is working, and when the principality finish, the powers come. The powers are called the exousias of the spiritual. Their job is to bind you. You can never go back. You can never find your way back. And when the powers finish their work, then the Bible said the rulers of the darkness of this world, the world is cosmos kratos. That's where rebuilding begins from. The job of the ruler is that that thing that was a practice will become a culture. They make sure that it transcends from one generation to another. They make sure that that thing that began with one man becomes a company. And so after a while, the guy was doing it successfully, but in the next 10 years there are 30 of them who are doing it. There are 50 of them who are doing it, and you are wondering what is going on. Rulers are at work. They make this thing become culture and way of life.
And a point will come when you come into that territory. If they tell you it's not, this thing will not happen, you think it's not possible. There are most of you now, if I tell you somebody is a virgin at 30, you say it's a lie. Because rulers have done some things to make you feel that it's impossible to live chaste. It's impossible. All the 10 friends you have, all of them are disflowered. And so now, instead of struggling, you submit willingly. Because this thing is the way of life here. This is how people succeed. In fact, they will make you think that for you to succeed, you must do it. Have you not entered some systems? You entered the bank. You came with zeal. You thought marketing, what about skill? And then they advise you that the last 3 persons that wanted to use skill here were fired after 3 years. The only way up is to sleep with the boss. And so they will show up and chant and cast spells and choke atmospheres. And then you are wondering why, when you relocated to this particular place, this kind of thing began to happen. What is going on? There are people who manage the atmospheres there. They are witches and they are wizards. And when you grow, you become a warlock. A warlock is one who does not have any sympathy for man again. He has betrayed men, completely sold out to darkness, and he can do any act of wickedness. They are the ones that truly form the foundation of spiritual cities in collaboration with princes. Some of you have watched movies before. You know that most of the ancient cities you find today had warlocks that pioneered the agenda of darkness into those lands, and they put it as signature in the foundation of those cities. If you enter there and you don't rise above it, you can never serve God. And when you grow from a warlock, you become a sage. A sage is a teacher. He has the power to impart spiritual graces. It's not only in light that they do impartation, even in darkness. A sage can say, hold my hand, go and cut a blade of grass, bring it. When you bring it, you hold your hand, say go. If anybody is beaten by scorpion, touch that place 3 times, the venom will go. And you are wondering, is it true? Somebody is beaten by scorpion, you tap the person, the venom will go. And you are wondering, he can impart demonic power. This one now is a custodian in darkness. So while principalities, powers, rulers are working, they are also raising human agents from puppets that do their will. You know, some of you young men here, you have long game. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying the trend, the one that is a trend. And when you see ladies, you are doing like this. You don't know you are an agent. You don't know. See, look good though, I have beard. But I'm saying there's a trend now where people showcase things. You don't know. These intelligence are deep. It's not only naked women. You don't know. You see some men, they remove 5 of their buttons until their chest open to this place. They literally don't wear singlet. While they were in the gym, you will think, oh, they are exercising. Gym has good health value. They don't care about health. It's not a oh. Listen, there's nothing wrong in looking good. Don't get me wrong. And there are many benefits. You can toughen your muscles. You can facilitate the movement of blood. Your arteries, your veins open. Cholesterol, is burnt out. For healthiness, for good look. It's good. Look good. It's good. I'm not looking too bad. but what I'm saying is that if those things you built becomes a channel that demons ride through. Now you went to gym, you have 6-pack. You have 4-pack, and 7 ladies have lost their virginity, and you don't know what is going on. You are an agent. You are a puppet. So when they come around, they remove their shirt, put it on their neck, and they are walking around because they know that the ladies in the environment are weak when they look at them. And so the reason they sweated hours in the gym is to become appealing, so that an agenda can be facilitated. Meanwhile, those ladies that they disflowered will go and destroy 7 families. And so before you know what's happening, a cycle of wickedness has been created. It began from something that looks as if there's no harm, something that is even good, medically speaking, but there's an intelligence. This is why the wise men must rise to manage the gates, so that the sanity of a territory is kept. Some ladies go to gym now. It's not even about health. It's to reshape themselves so that they can dress with tight things to seduce married men. Or pastors, they don't even care about young men, because it's not marriage they are looking for. They say married men care for them better. They are more mature, they are more reasonable. And so you see her squatting in the gym. She's trying to build different shape so that she can dress skimpy. And you don't know that intelligence were weaved into it. And you come into a territory, everywhere is perverted. Thank God for what you hear in church. But when you go back, you must be a Berean Christian. He said they were more noble than those in Thessalonica. When they heard Paul, they went back to the scripture to search, to see if the things said were so. Christians are some of the most illiterate as touching the ordinances of God in their holy book. I don't want to call the other religions to make it look as if I'm exhorting them, but most of them, as teenagers, they can recite the whole book, and when they inject them with it, they send them anywhere. And you'll find them in any part of the world. They are first of all ambassadors of what they believe than whatever culture you are practicing. We are the only ones who bend in Western words and throw our belief system away. These other ones, they know, they don't even trouble them, because if you want to, you will cause problem. The thing has entered them. They can't deny it. It is who they are.